Is Sean Strickland the MMA fighter of 2023? Now, you're going to have to excuse me here because I'm going to be using some examples that are just either side of 2023, but I do think the point here still stands. It would be hard-pressed to find a fighter more suited than Sean Strickland as the MMA fighter of 2023. Now, obviously, I am making this off the back of Sean Strickland saving UFC 297. However, look, maybe saying saving is the wrong way to put it. I mean, we got the news like a couple of days ago, 10 weeks out from when that card still is. There was still plenty of time for people to have full training camps. It was just, we needed these decisions made within the next couple of days, and Sean Strickland stepped up. It's not just his outrageous activity over the past 12 months, but it is the fact that Sean Strickland does seem to mean it when he says, I'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime. Unlike some other fighters, Nate Diaz, I'm looking at you, mate. Fight Jake Paul in the PFL. Come on, you can beat him at MMA. Fight Jake Paul. They're offering you like $10 million, man. Do it. And before I get into my reasons about Sean Strickland, guys, if you've been enjoying this channel, or maybe this is your first time seeing this, why don't you go ahead and just click on that subscribe button, give yourselves like a 7-day free trial with it, see how you like my content popping up on your YouTube feed, and then if like after a week you just decide that you hate me, you can't stand it, just click unsubscribe and I'll be gone. You'll never see me again. It really does help small creators like me. I would appreciate it a lot. All right, let's get into it. Right, at the end of December 2022, in fact, from memory, it might have been the very last card in December, right? Sean Strickland goes 5 hard rounds with Jared Cannonier. I'm talking Jared Cannonier, who later on in 2023 would pretty much end Marvin Vettori's career, like beat the living hell out of him. Jared Cannonier, who was to step up as the backup fighter if Israel Adesanya's championship fell through and couldn't make weight. That Jared Cannonier. At the end of 2022, Sean Strickland goes 5 hard rounds with him, and a lot of people, myself included, feel like Sean Strickland got the win over who is probably the #1 contender. That's how Sean Strickland ended 2022. Then in January 2023, and I believe this was a history-making moment, Sean Strickland moved up a weight class and opened the year. Sean Strickland ended 2022 with a fight and then opened the year 2023 with a fight for the UFC. He moves up a weight class to fight Nassourdine Imavov. He does it on 1 week's notice. That is crazy. And he ends Nassoudine's hype train right there. So then, right, as a thank you from the UFC for saving their January card, what does Sean Strickland get? He gets his ranking in the division completely disrespected by the UFC, and they set him up to fight a future potential star, Abus, right? And we all remember how that one went. Sean Strickland went and ended his hype train as well. Do you remember the comments going into the Abus fight, how Sean was just going to get taken down and ragdolled? They threw him in there to lose that fight, and Sean Strickland just took it on the chin, went ahead, marched forward, jab, jab, no problem. Unbelievable. So then, of course, once again on short notice, he was booked in to save yet another card against who the UFC like to call their most dominant champion. That was the card against Israel Adesanya down in Sydney. Sean Strickland, another late notice step up. Nobody had Sean Strickland being able to beat Israel Adesanya. And I mean nobody. I don't think anyone saw that fight going. I remember sitting there before that fight. I was talking to my brother. I was like, I just can't see it. I just can't see a way that Sean Strickland's going to beat Israel Adesanya. And he goes ahead and does it. It's amazing. Sean Strickland goes ahead and beats Israel Adesanya. The storyline is set up. Jared Cannonier is healthy. He has just made weight. Sean Strickland is relatively healthy. Israel Adesanya didn't really hurt him that much. Jared Cannonier is the rightful #1 contender. They just had a fight a couple of months ago. It was a controversial decision. This is an easy sell to make to us, the fans, and the UFC. They hate Sean Strickland and they go, you're fighting Chimaev. We're going to give Chimaev an easy fight against Paulo Costa or a late notice Kamaru Usman, and we assume Chimaev's going to win, and then you're going to fight Chimaev. Someone who isn't even in your division. Someone who is a wrestling heavy fighter. That's who they set up for Sean Strickland as a thank you for saving UFC Sydney. And when it got announced that it might be Chimaev as Sean Strickland's next fight, did Sean Strickland say no to the fight? Now look, he might have gotten on social media and talked some shit and said some things and complained about it. But in the same interview, in the exact same interview, he said that the UFC want Chimaev to be his next fight, so he'll go ahead and fight Chimaev. He didn't try and hold up the division like, say, Leon Edwards when it was announced that he'd be fighting Colby Covington. He didn't go into, you know, oh, I need to get healed up first and then go into negotiations with the UFC to slow things down. Sean Strickland just said, this is a bit bullshit. It shouldn't be Chimaev. He wasn't even in my division, but I'll fight him anyway. That is an anyone, anywhere, anytime kind of fighter. So the UFC's little plans didn't work out. Chimaev should have gotten a draw, not a win, and his hand is injured, and he can't fight Sean Strickland. Jared Cannonier is injured, Chimaev is injured. Now the UFC throw him a #1 contender. And remember, it's only been like 6 weeks since Sean Strickland won that belt, and he's already got his next fight booked in, ready to go. That is an incredible turnaround. That is a Israel Adesanya level of turnaround, a Volkanovski level of turnaround. I love these active fighters that want to stay in there and keep fighting, and Sean Strickland is stepping up there to do that. Sean Strickland has not only been one of the most active fighters of this season of UFC, let's call it, this year, this 12-month period, but he's also done things that people have said were impossible to do, things that no one thought that he could do. To me, Sean Strickland is the MMA fighter of 2023. Give him the award. Oh my God, the UFC are gonna love marketing that with a little Bud Light sponsorship down there. That's gonna go down like a bag of bricks in an ocean. Let me know if you agree. Who would you pick as your fighter of 2023? Maybe I'm way off here. Let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next video.